All right, just going over this past week's price action. I ended up taking one trade on Wednesday throughout the week. Ended up being a nice winning trade. This is just the news that we had from this past week. Let me just check really quickly. So this past week was the 8th to the 12th here. We had a Fed chair. Powell was speaking at 10 a.m. on Tuesday, or made a testimony. That really doesn't move price too much. Same with this typically. Unless it's FOMC minutes or FOMC itself, I'm not really too concerned with getting like manipulated out of a position. So in this case on Wednesday, I just waited to take the trade after the speech had been given and made some money. Thursday we had CPI, so didn't trade Thursday, and then Friday we'll go over. Definitely there was something there for me, so in hindsight I wish I had taken it. I'm going to try my best to not get too caught up in risk reward. As long as it's a 1-to-1 risk reward and nothing lower, I'm okay with taking it. So in hindsight on Friday, it would have been nice to take this trade, and we'll go over that. So just to start off here, this is the weekly close. Obviously the weekly candle was not formed like this yet on Monday. I was bullish throughout the entire week here. I mean, how can you not be? Look at price, right? If I go to the daily, you'll see how we kind of move this week, starting on the 8th here, right? Wednesday was the day I took the trade. Obviously, it was bullish on it. CPI made a nice retracement down towards equilibrium here and repriced us into a discount, which was nice to see. So on Friday, like I said, would have been nice to see a trade off of that. So let's go to Monday and just see what Monday gave us. So Monday we had some bullish price action to be expected. If I remember correctly, we were already trading above the previous weekly high and previous daily high, obviously, on Monday before market opened. So it became a little tougher for me without having a target to reach for to really enter in for any buys. So this is what we would have been looking at here. If you just cut this off. Right, that's what we would have been looking at on Monday. And realistically, what I would have liked to see if I was going to enter a trade, because I trade the 2022 model, I would have liked to see us keep this. Again, this is at this point the only liquidity towards the buy side because we're at all-time highs. So I would have liked to see this get capped, take this liquidity, and then go higher. Now, I would have still been okay with taking a buy here had we swept this, but I needed to see the buy side get taken as well. So I needed to see buy side get taken, trade into a nice fair value gap there. But we didn't get that. Price moved without us on Monday here. Almost got it there, but wasn't enough. I needed to see this get swept for me to enter. It didn't happen. So yep, that's that day in the books. Let's go to the next day. So this is Tuesday. Monday had no news at all. Tuesday has the Powell testimony again. That's not really anything too crazy. So, okay. Bullish again. If I go to the daily. Right. I'm bullish. Now, at this point, you might be asking yourself, well, we haven't, we're in a deep premium. And yeah, you're right. okay? But I'm not going to sit here and try to time a reversal, time a retracement. I'm not. I'm going to trade what price is giving me, and right now it's giving me total bullishness. Just because we're in a premium doesn't mean that we have to reprice right away. I mean, price could keep going. Imagine, here, this is a good example here, okay? So, for this trading range, we swept sell side, or excuse me, we swept buy side. And then we swept buy side here. So this is a trading range. So imagine here, having it drawn up like this, and being like, oh, you know what? I don't feel like taking a buy here. I don't like how we're not in a discount or in a premium. Imagine that, right? You're trying to time a retracement. Don't do that. Don't do it, okay? Also, be okay with the fear. There should not be a fear of loss, right? Like, damn, you know? Like, imagine, okay, fine. Like, say you did get in here for a buy and it ended up retracing to a discount. Okay. It's not the end of the world. Like, price obviously has to retrace at one point, but we're not trying to time that. That's what I'm trying to get at there. So, going to the 4 hour here. Let's just go to the 4 hour, right? Very, very, very choppy price action to get us to continue higher. So this makes sense how we kind of dropped on market open. Would have been a decent inverse trade, especially considering we swept, again, we're at all-time highs, so we swept everything to the buy side. That is possible, like literally possible for us to take. So this is a decent inverse trade. I didn't take it because I honestly, I try very hard to stick to just the bias that I have. But right here would have been a great entry. I believe, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I did take this on a demo when I was live streaming. I took it on a demo, but I took it too early. So essentially what I did was I took it here. Let me remember where I took it. Yeah, I took it here after we had kind of created a little bit of buy-side liquidity. I figured, there's a decent chance we just respect this fair value gap here after some nice distribution. We came up one more time, and then, But yeah, no trade taken, just a demo. So I was observant of the inverse possibility of an inverse trade, but I didn't want to take it on my live account. Thankfully I didn't. It did end up playing out, but I would have gotten stopped out of my initial position. So I'm glad I stayed off live account on this day. And then Wednesday, obviously still bullish. I mean, look at the daily time frame, and how can you not be, right? We're just continuing to bring this sucker up, this equilibrium line up. For the 1 hour, okay. So my trade see this nice sweep here. So my trade here actually was an inversion trade, and I'll again give you that same reasoning I gave for I decided to only take a demo trade on Tuesday. It's that same reasoning. I don't typically like to take an inverse trade. However, if we're at all-time highs and there really is no other liquidity to reach for, like we took the previous session high, took the previous daily high, took the previous weekly high, there's nothing to come for, right? On the buy side, then I'm looking to potentially, if my model presents itself, take a sell, or take an inverse. So in this case, it would be a sell, right? We swept previous daily high and session high and everything. Everything was gone, right, to the buy side. What I ended up targeting was I targeted the 930 liquidity here, right? We created support, so some decent buy side liquidity remaining off of anyone that was looking for a 2022 model here, right? So I entered, let's see, this is Powell talking here, or right before Powell talks. So we have just accumulation. Okay, we get that distribution. Target this buy side here. Let me try to remember if this is the candle I actually got entered in off of. I would have brought it down to here because I'm targeting. Here's the thing you gotta understand. You gotta sometimes, if you want to get in a trade, sacrifice a little risk reward. Obviously what I'm doing here is I'm accounting for this candlestick still. That's a fair value gap. I'm also accounting for this. A lot of the times it will only tap the closest one and then go, right? But I have to account for the one above as well, just in case it chooses to come that high and fill that fair value gap, right? I don't want to get stopped out for being greedy and putting it above here, right? So that's that. And I don't want to miss a trade by keeping it above here and being greedy with my RR. So we got tapped in here. Took partials here after we swept that low here. Made sure I kept my stop where it was. I didn't want to put it to break even too soon. Wanted to give the trade room to breathe. And then it continued for a little bit and eventually took out that liquidity. And as you can see, if I continue to play this, I picked the right time to take profit, right? So obviously what I was targeting there, that draw was correct. So that was the one official trade I took this week. Thursday was CPI. I didn't even look at the chart on Thursday. I'm not gonna trade CPI. If you want to trade after the news, fair enough, more power to you. I just avoid heavy news days like that. CPI, FOMC, NFP. Right. So CPI actually gave us that. If you were looking for that retracement, CPI gave it to you. So that's that. And anyone that gambled CPI news and was short, congratulations. You got maybe you passed your funded account. You certainly won't make money on, the account they actually give you, unless you get lucky and you win your gamble again. But I'm not here to gamble. I'm not here to gamble. I play the probability game. The probability of you actually getting this correct is not high enough for me to want to be involved with it. So yeah. So here, at this point, came into equilibrium, right? Repriced into a discount. We are racking nicely off of a fair value gap within the discount range there. We swept buy side. I would have targeted this trading range's equilibrium. And looking to, well, I don't know if this is the fair value gap that it uses. So then you got to keep moving it up higher a little bit. You don't want to chase price, but as long as it's a 1-to-1, I'm good. I'm cool with that. So it taps us in. There you go. That would have been a nice trade there for me. I didn't take it, but that is the week in review. Obviously, this is a 2022 model trade as well because we swept buy side. We also swept buy side on a lower time frame as well, right? This was PPI at 8:30. That's what that candle is. Did a nice job manipulating, and then we distributed higher into the premium of this 4-hour trading range that CPI delivered. So that's the week. That was the week. So in hindsight, only one trade that I would have liked to take. Typically, there's like 2 good opportunities a week that I aim for. So caught one of them.